Why does the federal government and the taxpayers keep giving pharmaceuticals stay in business money, subsidies, to come up with treatments rather than cures? Or the CDC for that matter, they should be finding cures for viruses. At this point, viruses shouldn't be that smart. Uh, they should have some inherent quality that they can all be attacked with. Cancer should be a thing of the past. Uh, why do we keep subsidizing companies basically for them to stay in business and keep doing the same thing they're doing? The pharmaceuticals want customers, they don't want cures. So the American people have to get smart. I wonder how much oil has British petroleum spilled in British oceans. We have to get smart. We really have to get smart. And what amazes me is I thought white people were smart. They're the dominant culture. They're supreme. They white supremacy. They are first class citizens. We're second class citizens. How in the hell do they let this continue, this type of stuff continue, and live under this type of system where they know that they're being fleeced and taken for a ride? The only logical answer to that is that they're comfortable being where they are because they know we are beneath that. And so, you know, they kind of feel like they're still being looked at, even though they've come after them, they've eviscerated the middle class, and they still believe that this government is looking after them because, they're killing black people. They aren't killing white people. They've killed a few, I guess, somewhere at some points. But it doesn't make any sense to me how they can waste money. Social Security was supposed to be a locked box. It's supposed to be solvent. They've taken money from social network programs and used it for other stuff. Legislatures should have that money taken out of their salaries and out of their retirement salaries to pay back because they stole it from the taxpayers. It was a locked box, money we paid into a system that was supposed to be a locked box. So how can they keep getting these exorbitant salaries every year, and then when they retire, they're going to get these close to their salaries for the rest of their lives? And that's from the president on down through every member of Congress, through every judge, legislator, or whatever. How can we continue to be so gullible and dumb? They're turning this country into a third world country. Donald Trump said it. It's true. It's by design. It is definitely by design. I was told years ago by somebody that Mexicans were going to be the new Negroes, but they let them congregate in houses, 10 and 20 unrelated people, and they don't do anything about it. They wouldn't let black people do that. And there's no law that a black person can break and get away with it. So how can illegals break a law coming into this country and get away with it and get rewarded for it? How can people overstay their visas and still be rewarded or get benefits? Immigration can't be that stupid. You know, China and Russia are cleaning our clocks. If our government is so far behind the curve on technology that other countries can spy on us and steal boatloads of information, and we're just spying on Americans and listening in on phone calls to see if somebody plotting to blow something away, and China is and Russia are cleaning our clocks. China invented 4G, and they're making most of our electronic equipment. We don't know what they're putting in it. So net neutrality is important also because they are bundling Wi-Fi in a really money gorging process. Everybody know that people are using mobile devices. They aren't staying at home, sitting in their home with their laptops. So they're charging too much for 10 gigabytes, 5 gigabytes, zeros and ones. Okay, a satellite signal is what? It's broken down into digital bytes, and zeros and ones the same thing, right? So I can leave my TV on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and will pay the same thing that I'm paying, and get some discounts from DirecTV or Dish Network. They'll work and they'll keep the price low for you if you ask them. So how could they package Wi-Fi signals and sell them for so much? 10 gigabytes, 15, 20 gigabytes is nothing if you're out and about and you're watching and doing stuff. So I don't know like how white folks let companies get away with that. So and if net neutrality goes away, they're going to get worse than that. They're going to slow things down worse than that. They're already doing it. They're building systems in places that can get faster Wi-Fi than other places. In spite of what ongoing litigation and discussion about it, they just don't. They aren't afraid of the government because they're buying the government. So it's mind-boggling that this country can be sold, bought and sold from the Supreme Court to City Hall to some municipality. They have E-Verify, and red states are raising hell about illegal aliens. Yet they won't use E-Verify to verify if the Social Security number is real, is legitimate for the illegal worker. And the borders are porous, like Donald Trump saying. Donald Trump might be off the rocker. He is an egomaniac, but a lot of stuff he's saying is very true. So how can we continue to have porous borders? Because they said 25 or 30 years ago that they were going to turn this economy into a service and information economy. I was in undergraduate school when they said that. I knew then that they were going to turn this into a third world country, a banana republic. That's what that meant to me. Who was going to do the service and who was going to provide the information and work with the information and build the infrastructure for the information? Well, the answer to that is foreigners. Bill Gates wants to bring all the people in he can, HB1 visas. We have all these great technical schools, yet Americans are too dumb to learn how to do any of that. So we need to send for people who we've probably paid for to train, and they've gone home, and bring them back to work on systems that we trained them to work on. And we couldn't train any dumb Americans to do it. I lived in New York for 18 years. They had a Rensselaer Polytechnical College and stuff like that. So what? None of the black and white kids, Americans, were smart enough to learn any of that shit. Something's going on. Somebody's getting the short end of the stick. Seems like it's us. It will be easy for a camel to fit through the eye of a needle than a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. Black people keep arguing about white Jesus. Later for white Jesus. Anybody with any sense that's black knows that Jesus was not white. He came from Africa, the Middle East. The Middle East is Africa. And the Bible said hair of lamb's wood, feet of bronze, and stuff like that. So every culture tries to make a deity in its image and stuff, you know. And they say, well, why should we believe in that? If it was stolen from the Egyptians, all of that, like we know it was, out of Africa, there must be something to it. If Albert Einstein lived, if what's his name, Tesla could think of alternating current and stuff, and men have thought of greater stuff, then there could have been a philosopher like a person like Jesus. Horace, the Pope, Europeans stole that, all that stuff, signs, symbols, and everything from Africa and stuff like that. So, and they said, well, that's all they taught black people in slavery about Jesus. They were afraid too. They still are. They don't know what the fuck's gonna happen and what's out there, or they wouldn't be going to church. They wouldn't be having as many churches and stuff. And Sunday is still the most segregated day in the country every week and stuff. So white people don't know shit from Shinola, and they are still afraid too. So the answer to all the black people that are arguing about white Jesus, we know Jesus wasn't white. And if you have a pastor that's a PhD and he's not finding you in biblical history, he's doing you a disservice. If he's not talking about you in biblical history and all you're talking about are Jews, then he's doing you a disservice. So the jackleg preacher has talked to the preacher with the PhD, so they know what's going on, just like the Masons, black Masons should know what's going on. And they need to disband. If they got such a high order of knowledge and everything, and we're still in the shape we are in now, they need to just stop, just close up shop. If they've laid around and let their own people come to this kind of situation, and they know so much about everything. They know the truth. There's some little club, they know the truth just like the white Masons do. But they aren't a member of any white Masonic lodges and stuff. They have black Masons. It's just ridiculous. This is Mosi Riffin, Master of Social Work, MSW, obtained at State University of New York at Albany. Thank you, New York, for saving my life. I appreciate that to the fullest. You don't know how much I appreciate and love New York for the Halliburton Act and for being what they were when I arrived there in 1982. And I'll have some more commentary at some point. Hasta la vista, baby. I'll be back.